I would say just being very attentive to your appearance, because men are, if what you want is attention from men, if you want a relationship, it is important. You can't disregard that. But in the Art of Seduction, I say it's not looks maxing. It's not, you think it's about how big your breasts are, how big your butt is. But men also are not just so primitive that that's the only thing that can also be in how you dress and how you carry yourself. The female voice is incredibly seductive, right? And it has to do with a certain kind of pitch to it and a certain enunciation and way. So being attentive to your voice, to your gestures, to your body language, to how you dress, to how you present yourself, to how you smell. Men are very attentive to smell just as women are, okay? So it's not just about looks maxing, it's about creating a seductive appearance, creating a fantasy about yourself. Cleopatra, evidently, because we don't have any photographs of her, obviously, was not the most attractive woman in the world. The little that we do have are from coins of her profile, and she had a bit of a nose. And in the reports from in the literature of the time, they would talk that she was incredibly seductive, but no one ever would say that she was this incredibly beautiful woman. She just mastered, she was the first great seductress in history, probably. She mastered male psychology, and she knew how to create this theatrical presence that drove men crazy. And it's not just looks maxing, that's kind of the superficiality of our times, where like the Art of Seduction is about wearing a tight dress and kind of thing. It's not. A lot of the Art of Seduction and the 48 Laws of Power is about absence, is about creating mystery, it's about disappearing, it's about stepping back so people know exactly who you are. And they will ask me, well, Robert, I have like 20 million followers on Instagram, and I can't step back. If I step back, people will forget me. But at the same time, they're losing interest in me. What do I do? And I tell them, well, you have to play the game. You have to step back a little bit. You have to create some mystery. You can't be so consistent where people know exactly who you are and they start getting bored with you. You have to mix things up. And I give examples of a lot of people, pop stars, etc., who know how to constantly play with their image and change it sometimes. You can be smart about this. You can be strategic and not just feel like I could just go on doing this forever, because people will end up tiring of, well, what's he up to? He's intriguing. He's playing on human psychology. We're fast. If people are too in our faces, they become predictable and familiar. And secretly we grow bored with them. And secretly we feel kind of superior to them because they're predictable, right? And they're going to lose interest in you. But if you can mix it up, if you can keep it on your side, because you might think as an influencer with so many followers that you're in control of the game, but actually your audience is the essence of this game. Pretty much the same thing. It's more like, are you smart and you're strategic, or are you just simply doing what people expect of you? Are you repeating the same thing over and over? So you don't have to necessarily step back in time, but you have to step back physically in your mind.
Yeah,
you have to go, what is our next move? How can we keep people intrigued? How can we keep them a little bit off balance with what we do? Okay, so they think that we're chess monkeys, that we just play chess, or we're going to throw them a curveball. Now we're going to start doing something very different. I thought that's what they should do. Sometimes you can't do that, but you have to step back yourself and not be so reacting to what other people are giving and not always trying to please other people. Sometimes I look at some of these people online, Instagram, and they strike me as clowns that have to get more and more desperate to keep their audience interested. They have to do things that are more and more extreme. And I don't think that feels very good inside of you. You feel kind of weak, like you're captive to your audience, because I don't ever myself want to turn into a clown. So stepping back and mixing up your game and becoming a DJ, a techno DJ, whatever you called it in Berlin, is courting attention at a higher level. So if you're, this is what I thought that I've lost. If you're constantly hitting the same game, hitting the same buttons, doing what I call a clown root act, people will start tiring of you. You won't court as much attention, right? You have a limited audience unless you're Taylor Swift and it can be like in the billions. There's only so many people who are going to be interested in the Botez sisters, right? It's not limitless, right? So what's going to happen is they're going to start frittering away less and less and less and less and less. If you change it up, if you do something a little bit different, you can expand your audience. You can court more attention. So one of the other laws, I think it's 26, is recreate yourself. By changing up your image, and I'm not saying wildly, you don't become something completely different, but by changing up your image, you actually will court more attention. But we're more than that. We're more, it was the pressure on women for that, I felt kind of had a very negative effect on their psychology for hundreds and hundreds of years. So it's no different with men. It's still kind of an empty sort of, now, I love glamorous women, and I can see like icons like Marilyn Monroe, etc. But she was actually an incredibly talented person who was actually a very brilliant actress and was very smart. And there was something kind of spiritual, I hate to say it, in her persona that it was so attractive. There's a kind of emptiness and one-dimensionality to this. So he's more like a performance artist than anything else, right? And that's his way of getting attention. And it's like, my body is like an art form. And I have a friend who's like that, who does that kind of thing. He's constantly working on his looks. He's getting plastic surgery, etc. He's older. But it just seems like, and for him, it's definitely performance art because he is an artist. But that's what this is. But it has to be part of an idea. If it's just about your looks, if it's just about the physicality of it, there's something very empty about that. Now, if there's something higher, if he's trying to prove a point, if he's trying to create this new kind of human being, if it's allied with a philosophy about, I'm like a Frankenstein, and I'm going to create some new kind of look that people, for the future, or I'm just playing with my body. If I could see some intelligence behind it, and maybe if you just have a good looking face and you get hired, but you're stupid and you have no ideas and you're just empty, what good will it do in the long run? You're not going to advance very far. And how long can Caligula, when he's in his 40s and 50s, keep doing this?
I mean, he's doing things that are not good for his health for the purpose of looking good now. I think that's one of the issues I have with looks maxing. It's when people are actually doing dangerous things that might hurt their health, which is more important.
Well, that's sort of interesting to me. And maybe if that were aligned with a philosophy like, I'm young, I don't care, I don't want to live until I'm 40, 50. I want to live hard right now, and I want to have, that's already, I can see like an idea there, because it's not just about, it's like, I'm willing to take some risk. I'm being dangerous. I'm living hard and fast and young. The James Dean kind of thing. Yeah, all right, that intrigues me a little bit. I think it's changing, and I think for women, men are always going to judge women on looks. Men and women I'm afraid we're biologically different, and our brains are wired differently. And I talked about in Seduction. I don't know, I'm not a neuroscientist, but I believe that these things are kind of slightly hardwired into us. And men traditionally are interested in looks. That's the first thing they're drawn to, right? Not necessarily a woman's brilliance or her chess mastery or whatever. They look at the looks. They look at the physicality. They can't help it, right? And it has to do with deep biological things going on. Women have a different set of values, right? They want a little bit more stability, and they're looking at a man's intelligence. They're looking at things that are not so obvious, his character, whether he's dependable, whether, he's got can bring me some stability, where he can have a good job, etc. So for women, it's kind of a trap, because, you can't change men's brains like that. But maybe there will be a shift going on in the next decades or so, where a man can be attracted to a woman for other qualities besides their looks. I know for me, they call them sapiosexual.
Yes.
Right. I know I had that weakness when I was very young, because I was in elementary school, And I was always attracted to girls who wore glasses.
That's so
And that was
cute.
sort of like the opposite of what you're supposed to be.
Right.
I didn't know why until later on I figured out it was because it's a sign that they were sort of smarter. They had read so many books that their eyes fell apart. I know I work at home. I don't have a job. I sit at my computer and I'm alone a lot. I know that I like to wear a decent, nice shirt and not just sit there. I never sit there in my shorts and try and write because it doesn't feel right. Something doesn't feel professional, doesn't make me feel good. So, I'm not wearing a tie or a suit, but I like to feel like I have a certain image of myself. I talked in the book Mastery, because I have a chapter on creativity, about certain things that kind of get you in the mood for being creative. And one thing I had in there was like, I had examples of all of these writers and famous people who had like some very strange thing that they would smell or touch that would make them creative.
Interesting.
And it got me interested. And I think the brain and the body, we tend to divide them. We live so much in our heads in our culture nowadays. People are so left brain oriented that they don't realize that the body and the mind are one. There's no separation from that, right? The separation is only in our heads. We are animals. We still are attracted to smells, to scents, to looks, to sounds, to the sensual world, right? And so what I was talking about in Mastery was, there was a famous German writer Goethe from 19th century, late 18th century. He had it, no, actually it was his friend Schiller, who had a drawer full of rotten apples. I believe it was rotten apples. And the smell of it would make him so incredibly creative. He just was addicted to having these rotten apples in his drawer and the scent of it. And so when I wrote Mastery, I tried that on myself. I tried having a couple of rotten apples in my drawer, and I could see where it could trigger something like that.
Wow.
So yeah, you need to like seduce yourself, but through your senses, right? And that will make you more creative and not so totally in your head, and using your whole body and bringing your whole persona into the act of creation. We live within certain conventions in our lives, but we're not aware of it. So if you think, for example, of people in the 17th century, and Louis XIV, they're wearing powdered wigs, they wear these clothes, he would wear high heels, they dressed differently, they spoke differently, everything was formal. We could see, and through the lens of 300 years ago, how conventional their world was and how weird it was. It's so different. We can't see that in our own present time. We can't realize that we're as conventional as Louis XIV in his time. It's just different conventions. We look differently, but it's still everybody. We're an animal that's constantly imitating other people. We're part of a zeitgeist. We're part of a cultural moment that we can't get out of. And in any kind of culture, any kind of moment, there's a level of restriction. This is how you're supposed to behave. Now it's all social media. This is how you're supposed to present yourself. This is how you're supposed to think. And it creates patterns. And we all follow these patterns and we're not conscious of it. But it starts to feel constricted. It starts to feel like, is this all there is to my life? And you don't realize it, but you're feeling bored. You're feeling restless. You're feeling like there's got to be something else. We live in a universe of limitless dimensions, and we're discovering all these weird things about the universe. Our minds, our consciousness have immense powers that other animals have other powers, but they don't have it. It's insane to think about these things, but to live in these small little rabbit holes on the internet or on social media, to me is really, really depressing. And I feel like a lot of people are literally going insane right now because of the restriction, the limited nature of their consciousness. And so the sublime, that limited nature is a circle. That circle can be a little bit larger or it can be small, but it's always a limit factor. The sublime is anything outside of that limit. Things that you don't normally think about, patterns of behavior that you normally wouldn't do, emotions that you don't normally feel. When you go outside that circle, it creates this the sublime is a physical sensation before it's a mental sensation. You have a chill You have goosebumps, your heart beats faster, your eyes dilate. You almost feel like you want to cry. Something kind of beautiful that's happening, but you don't have the words for it. It creates this physical sensation. And then your mind starts opening up. It's an opening up process to the vastness, to the actual powers of human consciousness.